Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to step onto the ice with some biscuits and penalties. I'm Cobra, and I am joined in the shootout with Alex. After all, I am your starting goaltender. How you doing, Alex?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing all right. If you're wondering why I sound a little bit different, it is because I have a brand new microphone. Uh, Christmas was a very good for me. Um, and so that's definitely different. Sorry we weren't here last week. Alex, Ben, and we were away, getting Christmas plans all ready to go, but we are back for some hockey. Um, and while we were gone, we're just going to check on the Detroit Red Wings a little bit. And oh my god, they just got rid of their head coach. Ah. Todd McClellan has replaced Derek Lalonde as head coach. Obviously, Todd McClellan definitely has some NHL experience. I believe he was behind the Flyers bench before they got John Tortorella, but I believe so. Am I right, Alex, or am I thinking of someone else?
Says the last team he coached was the Kings last season before being fired.
Yeah.
Was coach of the Oilers as well, and was part of the Stanley Cup team in 1988 with the Kings.
Okay. So I was definitely thinking of someone else. But yeah, he does have some NHL coaching experience. Recent NHL coaching experience. Um, but the I believe that the woes of the Detroit Red Wings are unfortunately from the higher up. Um, as we know, Ken Holland was the GM of the Red Wings for a long time, giving the Red Wings and Bruce David Ilitch a lot of success uh, with uh, with the Red Wings. I mean, obviously, we can't forget their long playoff streak. We can't forget the 02 and 07, 08, 07, 08 Stanley Cup championships. Uh, and we can't forget that. But it was when it was time for Ken Holland to basically step down. Ken Holland said no. And of course, Steve Yzerman took that as an offense because he was ready to be a general manager. And Mr. Ilitch wanted to put it to Steve Yzerman, you know, but of course, Ken Holland said no. And Steve Yzerman then went to the Lightning, where, of course, Steve Yzerman was instrumental in turning the Lightning into a dynasty in a way. Then after his success with the Lightning, the Red Wings job became open, and Steve Yzerman has been there for I think 4 or 5 years. I think 3 years actually, and the return has not bore fruit this time. So Alex, I want to say that this has been the Detroit Red Wings Icarus moment. That they flew a little too close to the sun, but am I wrong here? Or do you think I'm right on this?
I think you're right. The Red Wings have had a struggling season the past 3 or 4 years, failing to make any push for the playoffs at all, with a struggling team and a terrible coaching staff who seems to have no answers to the terrible woes. And hopefully, a successful coach like McLennan will hopefully skyrocket in the next season to try to get into the playoffs. Or if not, this
Yeah,
Red Wings team
yeah.
is dead.
Well, I mean, the ship has to be righted somehow because here's the thing. I mean, there is a long way to the playoffs. I mean, we're not there yet for as far as hockey is concerned. We have, I think, 4 months until playoff hockey. But what do the Red Wings do to right the ship. I mean, until before during the trade deadline, or before the trade deadline happens, what do the Red Wings do? What's the move? What do you think?
I feel like it's to address the defense. During this Red Wings scores, they get outscored a lot during their games. We're giving up a lot of points, and the goalies have struggled to stop the puck. And it seems like there's no answer on defense and lack of an offense in Detroit. I don't know if that's lack of money being spent, overspending, or there's no motivation with the team at all.
I think it's a combination of two things. I think it's one, money savings, and two, money savings and trying to rely a lot on the youth. However, that doesn't say anything considering you have famous swim respecter Patrick Kane on the roster. But you're right. I think it's defensive woes and goaltending issue. The goaltending can't make a save if the defense isn't there to help soften up the puck coming his way. Especially if a goalie's out of position. That's just the fact. Um, and speaking of goaltending, uh, the Colorado Avalanche definitely made a move. Uh, Not only trading for Mackenzie Blackwood, but extending Mackenzie Blackwood. Am I right, Alex?
Yes, they gave him a 5-year undisclosed amount of money for next season. Starting the young 28-year-old, putting him in the starting goalie position to hopefully do what Dusty Camper did for them, winning Stanley Cup for them, while also adding a forward and another goalie in Gorgachev to the
Yeah,
team to
yeah,
try to do something in the playoff push.
yes. Because Georgiev wasn't the long-term answer. And he wasn't a long-term answer, and of course, um, they needed to address it and address it fast. Mackenzie Blackwood, by the way, is a fantastic goalie. He was a great prospect for the New Jersey Devils. He did encounter a bit of a slump, but also, to be fair, he was on the Devils for a while. The Devils, the Devils. The Devils were not the Martin Brodeur, not the Martin Brodeur Devils. He needed a fresh change of pace. And Mackenzie Blackwood unfortunately bounced around a little bit here or there, but now he's, on the Avalanche, and hopefully his career rebounds and we don't have a Jack Campbell situation on our hands. Anything you like to add on that, Alex?
I do agree with you, and I hope that with the stats remaining on Blackwood, I mean 2.3 goals against him, averaging 3-1 on average with his former team, and this is a big move for the Avalanche because I've noticed they've had some goalie woes in the past couple months or two, and this might be a big step from them to go for another Stanley Cup this year.
Right, right. I mean, the Avalanche are one of those teams that are always Stanley Cup threatening. That's the best way I can describe it. But anywho, I think we need to take a step off the round table and we need to address the standings. As we look at the Eastern Conference, with the Atlantic Division, we have the Florida Panthers, the defending Stanley Cup champion, at the top of the Atlantic with 46 points. The Maple Leafs, and probably let me say this: the Panthers are 22, 12, and 2. The Maple Leafs 21, 12, and 2 with 44 points. The Bruins 19, 13, and 4 with 42 points. The Lightning, Tampa Bay Lightning 19, 11, and 2 with 40 points. You have the Ottawa Senators, interestingly enough, starting to connect and gel here. 18, 14, and 2 with 38 points. The Montreal Canadiens Rebounding with Patrick Laine, 14, 17, and 3, 31 points. The Detroit Red Wings, hey, we were just talking about them. 13, 17, and 4 with 30 points. And the opposite of the Buffalo Bills, the Buffalo Sabres. 12, 19, and 4 with 28 points. Like, seriously, this if you were a fan of Buffalo sports and you know the history of the Buffalo Sabres, this should be driving you as a fan nuts because Terry Pegula owns both franchises. And he can run the bill, and the Bills are doing great, but Terry Pegula can't do the Sabres justice. It's frustrating. Then, in the Metropolitan Division, we have at the top of the standings. I was just talking about these guys too. The New Jersey Devils, 23, 11, and 3 with 49 points. The Washington Capitals in second in the Metro, 23, 9, and 2 with 48 points, and that might change a little bit with Ovechkin returning. We have Raleigh, the Carolina Hurricanes, 21, 12, and 1 with 43 points. The Pittsburgh Penguins rebounding, interestingly, 16, 15, and 5 with 37 points. We have the Columbus Blue Jackets, who, you can't say anything bad about them this year. You can't. With the death of Johnny Gaudreau, you can't say anything bad about them. 14, 15, and 6, 34 points. And of course, the Philadelphia Flyers right behind them, 15, 16, and 4 with 34 points. The New York Rangers, 16, 17, and 1 with 33 points. This is frustrating to me because seriously, with a talented core with like the Rangers, they shouldn't be at the bottom like this. And weirdly, at the bottom of the Metropolitan Division, the New York Islanders, 13, 15, and 7, 33 points. I think it is time to get rid of Lou Lamoriello, Islanders. I think it's time. I don't know about Patrick Waugh yet, but definitely Lou Lamoriello. And in the Central Division, we have Winnipeg Jets. Hey, they're back. 25, 10, and 1 with 51 points. Then the Minnesota Wild, 21, 10, and 4, 46 points. The Colorado Avalanche. Hey, we were just talking about them too. 21, 15, and 0, 42 points. The Dallas Stars, 20, 13, and 0, 40 points. The Utah Hockey Club, 16, 12, and 6 with 38 points. Let's hope they get an actual franchise name so we don't have to refer to them as the Hockey Club. Please, let's not do this. The St. Louis Blues, 16, 16, and 4 with 36 points. The Nashville Predators, 11, 17, and 7 with 29 points. And we already have a Predators fan that we know already saying that the season is over. And the Chicago Blackhawks, 12, 21, and 2, 26 points. And in the Pacific Division, at the top, the Vegas Golden Knights, 23, 8, and 3 with 49 points. The Edmonton Oilers, 21, 11, and 2, 44 points. The LA Kings, 19, 10, and 5, 43 points. The Vancouver Canucks, 17, 10, and 7, 41 points. The Calgary Flames, 16, 11, and 7, 39 points. The Seattle Kraken, 15, 19, and 2, 32 points. The Anaheim Ducks, 13, 16, and 4, 30 points. And the San Jose Sharks, 11, 20, and 6, 28 points. All right. And
Has anyone but the standings were fast?
what's up?
Has anyone but the standings were fast before we move on?
Yeah. What do you got to say, man?
The Western Conference this year seems way more competitive with 6 teams fighting tooth and nail for the top spot, and it seems like the Jets are the team to beat in the Western Conference. This is a very interesting 3 to 4 months left of the season. See who takes that top spot in each of the
And,
Western Conferences.
and I will add, Connor Hellebuck is trying his best to etch his name into the Vezina Trophy, as the top goaltender in the NHL. So now let's get into our games of the weekend. Obviously we got 3 games. We picked 3 games, and not only today but for Saturday and Sunday. Here we go. We had the Canadiens Panthers for Saturday. Canadiens Panthers, Oilers Kings, Kraken Canucks, Flyers Ducks, Capitals Maple Leafs, Rangers Lightning, Senators Jets, Devils Hurricanes, Blue Jackets Bruins, Penguins Islanders, Flames and Sharks on Saturday. And on Sunday, Sabres Blues, Oilers Ducks, Canadiens Lightning, Capitals Red Wings, Islanders Penguins, Senators Wild, Flames Golden Knights, Stars Blackhawks, and Flyers and Kings. Alex, what are your games of the weekend? 2 from Saturday and 1 from Sunday.
Capitals Maple Leafs on Saturday. Interesting to see if it's going to change with Ovechkin versus a Matthews less Leafs team. How they do is last time we played them, we beat them 3-1 when they didn't have Austin Matthews. And this is to take the series with them. We're 1-1 against them during the season. And my second game is going to be the Rangers and the Lightning, 2 teams that have been on losing woes recently. What can they do to bounce back in this game tomorrow? And who's going to continue to upscale in the Metropolitan Division and the Eastern Conference?
Yep.
And for
And
Sunday, hear me out. Stars and the Blackhawks seems to be a trap game for the Stars. How well can Chicago bounce back from their recent losing streak? And how well can the Stars bounce back and keep the winning streak going for them?
you
And
know
I'm
what?
going to do.
That's it. You did 3.
Okay.
Remember, two Saturday, 1 Sunday.
Gotcha.
All right. And as for me, this one I think is going to really surprise people. Senators Jets, definitely the one to look out for. Connor Hellebuck putting the Jets on his back, and Ottawa starting to surge and making things click. And of course I'm also going with the Devils and Hurricanes. Look, 2 teams in the Metropolitan Division battling it out for the top spot. They're in the top 3 of the Metro. You cannot go wrong with these 2. And on Sunday, I'm going with an expansion 6 rivalry, the Philadelphia Flyers versus the LA Kings. Hear me out. The Flyers are a young team, so don't be surprised if they make some moves in the trade deadline to really make a surge. Fedotov is finding his way around the league. He's actually getting better. Urson, same thing. But again, I'm not going to sleep on the Flyers as far as like playoff ambition. This is a young team, and they're going to do everything they can. So do not sleep on the Philadelphia Flyers. And of course, that is it for our podcast. And of course, we do have to thank our sponsor for today, which is the Social Sports Pad Network. Hey, it's us. If you don't know, the Social Sports Pad Network, we do more than just hockey. We do NASCAR with the lap down. We do football with the hard count. and we do baseball with the Dirt and Turf podcast. We of course invite you to listen to the other podcasts after you listen to Biscuits and Penalties. And of course, we also can't do it without our other affiliate links. And by the way, before I read off our affiliates, I want to remind our listeners that yes, the Social Sports Pad Network and its podcasts do read out affiliate links, but we are not trying to steer you wrong. We use these products. We believe in these products. We have used these products before, and we do not want to steer you wrong. We believe in integrity over here on Social Sports Pad Network. So, again, everything that we shout out in our affiliate link, that wherever you get your podcasts or even on YouTube, we believe and trust in these products. So, like I said, we are going to thank our affiliates, Fanatics, Bulletproof Coffee, Dr. Squatch, Sleeves, W Energy, Duke Cannon Supply Company, Fubo TV, Century PC, Smackin' Sunflower Seeds, and Raw Nutrition. Once again, those affiliate links are in the bio wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. And by the way, if you are also listening to us on YouTube, please hit like, subscribe, and hit that bell to get those notifications going, so you do not miss an episode of the Social Sports Pad Network. And like I said, and I would like to thank you for listening, because I'm Cobra, and I am joined by Alex, and I believe that's the Zamboni going. Well, we got to step off the ice. See you next time.